If you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers, and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes, or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yo, if you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yeah, so you're looking at a man, his street name is Rooster. Yeah, man, Rooster. And he's a known Posse killer. And his current name is Anthony Patterson. And he's deported for America and en route to Jamaica right now. Very dangerous criminal. This is not an ordinary man. So you know that this man, not only that this man is well armed to the teeth when it comes on to knowledge about criminality, but he is one of them that the Jamaican authorities know about, and I know that he's not someone to play with. This man have a history. So we know based on what is happening in Jamaica, it's just a matter of time before, Rooster will meet his demise, because Jamaica is not the Jamaica that Rooster left. No, we are not going back to, where a man become a known career killer. Rooster, the gun runner, the killer, inside the blood-soaked trail of a Posse ghost. So here is a career criminal whose name sends shivers down the spines of those who have crossed this path. A man who has evaded justice, trafficked death, and left a trail of bodies from Kingston to Florida. Yeah, Anthony Rooster Patterson, a reputed violence producer and veteran operative of the infamous Posse gang. Yeah man, Posse gang, that is from Tivoli Gardens, is once again in the crosshairs of international law enforcement, and this time it's not just talk, it's bullets, bodies and betrayal. So in a stunning operation that spans multiple countries and implicates multiple murders, Jamaica's elite Kingfish investigation have flown to Florida to interrogate Patterson after a massive weapon cache was found hidden in his Florida residence. This wasn't just a few handguns tucked under a mattress, 4 pistols, 1 AK-47 rifle, a bulletproof vest, and a staggering 13,500 rounds of ammunition, enough to wage a small war. And that happened back in the early 2000s. Yeah man, Rooster. You know, at the time you have men like Zippy Hines down by Kingfish, you know, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization. They make sure that they dismantle that. Any police division or police entity or agency that's effective in fighting crime, the PMP LGBTQ plus criminal organization always find a way for dismantling. But Patterson, yes. So according to at the time Inspector Steve Brown, that our brother used to the Kingfish, he left as superintendent, but this information I received said boy Steve Brown broke like a church louse. Because I'm a gambler. I don't know no one who's a gambler that rich. And so that's why I don't take up them kind of career there and everything. You just learn from data. Yeah. I don't know no gambler that's rich. So Steve Brown at the time, a spokesman for Operation Kingfish, this army was for self-defense. We suspect that the find was heading to Jamaica. Where exactly, we do not know as yet. But we know of a fact, they were definitely heading to Jamaica, Brown revealed. Let that sink in. A war chest of death instruments smuggled under the radar, heading to the island to feed the beast of organized crime and domestic terrorism. But Patterson crimes didn't start in Florida. They started in blood-soaked shadows of Portmore, where he allegedly involved in a brutal execution attempt on a woman shot and dumped like garbage in Cayman's Canefield. The woman, whose name has not been released for safety reasons, miraculously clung to life long enough to be rescued. But the wounds were too grave. She succumbed a month later, a tragic statistic in Patterson's growing body count. So according to Inspector Brown, the Kingfish team had moved to capture Patterson immediately after the shooting, but has become a trademark of the seasoned fugitive. He already slipped out of the country, vanishing like smoke in the wind. His escape wasn't a fluke. It was calculated. Rooster has played the game of cat and mouse for years, thriving in the shadows, greasing palms and exploiting cracks in law enforcement coordination. And now, in a brazen twist, it is reported that Patterson was arrested by the United States Marshals in Florida, deported to Jamaica for questioning, and somehow managed to return to the United States again. I don't know how these guys, the criminal, you see, corruption is an elevating and they're everywhere, you know, because a lot of corrupt people can. That's why these, you have many people get deported to Jamaica today and tomorrow they're in the back of America. It's like them have paperwork like, wow, at Jamaica, and them travel from plane, go back through the airport where them just come through. Them have, you understand, like them have a chest or a safe with them in a passport. I tell you, I just saw it go. So that was not just bold, it's a slap in the face to both Jamaican and US authorities. Who's protecting Rooster? Who's clearing his path across borders? These are questions the Jamaican public deserve answers to. Because this isn't just a story of crime. This is a story of corruption, international complicity, and systemic failure. The firearms and ammunition seized on Patterson's Florida stronghold weren't for target practice. They were destined for Jamaica's ghetto. to be wielded by young misguided men paid a pittance to pull trigger for dons and political warlords and drug dealers. And let's be clear, these weapons weren't heading to Cherry Gardens or Beverly Hills. They were bounded for Denontown, Tivoli Gardens, Flankers, Spanish Town, and other war-torn communities where children grow up learning the sound of gunshots before they learn their ABCs. Partisans represent everything wrong with the criminal diaspora, an international web of murderers, drug traffickers and armed smugglers who use the US as a launch pad and Jamaica as a playground. They live double lives, attending church on Sundays and orchestrating contract killings on Mondays. And their passport don't just carry stamps, they carry bloodstains. It's time for the Jamaican government to demand accountability from its US partners. If partisans can be deported and still make it back into the US, then the system is compromised, period. The time for diplomatic niceties is over. The blood of innocent Jamaicans is on the hands of those who turn a blind eye. Rooster Patterson is no ordinary thug. He's a militarized kingpin, a man whose hands have never shaken. While pulling the trigger, he doesn't just kill, he orchestrates bloodbath. If Jamaica is to have a future where the rule of law reigns, then men like Patterson must not only be captured, they must be made examples of. One question remains, who's next? Because if Patterson's bullets had made it to Jamaica, your neighborhood could have been the next battleground. And make no mistake, the show Posse never sleeps. So this is the same rooster that, one of your all police, well, we say all police, all thieving police, who's a blogger, says that, boy, rooster call him from prison out of respect. Him take down the video them off of YouTube because him have to show them on they are G. Him have to show them on the respect. Because you don't know him have enough respect for the man them a garden. Me? No guy can call me. No guy. But they come from garden, jungle, cockburn pen, Waterford. I don't care where. No guy can call me and ask me to take down no video. I don't respect no criminal, no boy. Straight. I don't want no loyalty to no criminal. Period. Never have and never will. But yet, that's what Jamaican people say. Jamaican people, when they come on to differentiating between wrong and right, from them like you, them just ride with it, I just saw it go. So Rooster returns, the show Posse warlord who slipped through the US and Jamaican justice. Rooster is the monster next door. You see that quiet Palm Line Street in Miramar, Florida, the one with joggers in the mornings and kids riding bikes in the afternoon. That's where he was hiding. Not a petty thief, not a harmless oversteer, but a leader of one of the most bloodthirsty and fierce transnational gangs in the Western Hemisphere, the Shower Posse. And when US Marshals finally stormed the modest rental home, they weren't just arresting a man, they were unmasking a ghost drenched in blood and gun smoke. His name, Anthony Rooster Patterson. His legacy, death, deception and destruction. The name that spelled terror, Shower Posse. Shower Posse, a name that needs no introduction. In the criminal underworld, the term shower doesn't refer to water. It refers to bullets raining down like torrential storm on their victims. They didn't send warnings, they sent body bags. And at the center of this brutal syndicate stood Rooster, a top-tier operative and enforcer, known for organizing it with military precision and slipping in and out of countries like a shadow. So how did he get back? That's the million-dollar question. Rooster had already been captured, cuffed and deported to Jamaica after being linked to a cache of weapons and a string of murders. But like a cockroach that survived the flames, let me repeat myself, but like a cockroach that survived the flames, he found his way back into the United States, crossing borders that were supposed to be sealed and fooling immigration system meant to keep killers out. So according to the Deputy Barry Golden of the U.S. Marshal Service, Anthony Patterson recently slipped back into the country after being deported to Jamaica. That's no small feat. That's not the act of a desperate immigrant. That's the move of a man who has connection, resources and power far beyond what most can comprehend. When agents finally caught a rooster at the rented Miramar residence, that's a same place here in South Florida, they didn't find a nervous fugitive. They found a man who had grown comfortable, who believed he was untouchable, even on US soil. Marshall described the operation as high risk, knowing full well that Rooster had the firepower and ruthlessness to go down in a blaze of gunfire. Inside the home, investigators uncovered chilling clues: surveillance equipment, cell phones, contacts linked to gun running operation and drug trafficking network. This wasn't a man hiding from the world. This was a man still running it quietly, coldly, and efficiently. So when him set up all kind of thing, surveillance in him also, him want to say them take him out there, him leave digital footprint. I don't know why the US Marshal, because the man come back in our country illegally. So I saw them behave like America for them. As they get deport today, tomorrow them come back. So who is Rooster? That's $1 million question. So let's make no mistake. Anthony Rooster Patterson isn't some lost youth, lured by crime. He's a seasoned killer. A man whose hands are soaked in the blood of innocent. He has been linked to multiple murders in Jamaica, including the shooting and attempted execution of a woman in Portmore, St. Catherine, who was dumped in a cane field to die like a stray dog. She clung to life for weeks before finally succumbing to her wounds. And Rooster, he was already gone, vanished from Jamaica like a ghost at dawn. This is the same man whose Florida home was previously raided, revealing 13,500 rounds of ammunition, handguns and an AK-47 rifle and a bulletproof vest. This stash wasn't for personal use. It was for war equipment, destined for Jamaica killing fields. What does this say about our international security system? Rooster was deported. He was on watch list. He was known to law enforcement on both sides of the water. Yet he returned. He lived freely. He operated quietly until now. So the thing is that in Jamaica, with Jamaicans now, Jamaicans living in America know that this man is a deportee and is in the country illegally. Them now go talk up and inform on him. Because in Jamaica, informers are dead. But we are the Jamaica young police and I say informers are hero. A man like this, a danger. You don't want people like this in your community. So a man like this now, him live in your neighborhood. You know, as a decent Jamaican, and you live in a Miramar. More or less, this is west of the east of the 75. Either east or west of the, east or west of the 75. So him don't live in the ghetto part. Him live for decent people, middle class people. So you would have seen man think say, because look how him look clean, I think say I'm a nice Jamaican brother. But you know in the street, and you know say that dangerous, a murderer, a cold-blooded murderer, you attack with. That's why me and a friend Jamaican, if me don't know you, me not number one, I don't keep friends. So me and I go hang out and all them things. The people that we hang out with are people who work with Uncle Sam and people who have certain background. Rooster was known to law enforcement on both sides of the water, and he returned and lived freely. So the real question is, how many more roosters are hiding amongst us in America? Many. It seems like America is the easiest place for criminals get in. It's harder for them reach Canada, but it's easier for America because of Mexico and Central and South America. They must walk and come back. How many more killers are slipping through the cracks of immigration, rebuilding empire, while their countries of origin mourn the dead and bury their youth? Rooster's arrest is a victory, yes, but it's also a warning. This man symbolizes the resilience of organized crime, and unless there is a coordinated international assault on these syndicates, the bloodshed will continue, both in Jamaica ghettos and American side. The world cannot afford to treat men like roosters as mere fugitives. They are terrorists in tracksuit, warlords with visas. The shower posse didn't end with Christopher Dudu's squawk, and Rooster is living proof. To the people of Jamaica, this is a moment of reckoning. To the people of Florida, this is a wake-up call. And to the world, Rooster is caught, but the flock still flies. So now that he's back in Jamaica, and he's not just a killer, the Rooster must face justice, shower posse or not. Listen carefully, Jamaica. This is not your average deportee. This is not a common carousing, carabuncle, or dirty bungle killer or a wash-up gangster. This is a man whose name echo in criminal circles like a war drum. His arrival isn't just a return, it's a warning. Anthony Rooster Patterson, a high-ranking member of the infamous shower posse, has been deported from the United States and now back on Jamaican soil. He's back on Jamaican soil. But this is not the time to sigh in relief and think the problem is solved. No. Now is the time for the Jamaican Authority to rise, act, and send an unflinching message to the criminal underworld. No one is above justice, not even the Rooster. This is not a man. This is a machine of death. Let's be clear. This is not just a man who pulled a trigger or sold a few ounces of coke or a few pounds of weed. This is a man who built pipelines of guns and ammunition, organized assassinations, traffic death across borders, and make a mockery of the justice system in 2 countries. The US Marshal didn't arrest him on a hunch. They apprehended him after discovering over 13,500 rounds of ammunition, multiple illegal firearms including an AK-47 rifle and tactical gear fit for a small army. The kind of arsenal isn't for show, it's for domination, execution and warfare. And now, he's here in Jamaica, where bullets already speak louder than words in some community. Shower posse or not, justice must be swift and unforgiving. For far too long, Jamaica has been haunted by criminals who return from overseas and live like untouchables. They are greeted as dons, cheered by misguided youths, and surrounded by yes men who forget the mothers they have made wept and the blood they have spilled on our soil. Enough. Whether he wears the label of shower posse, one order, clansman, junglers, spanglers, it doesn't matter. The blood of our people cannot be washed away by a name brand gangster title. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, Director of Public Prosecutions, and every branch of national security must ensure that Anthony Patterson, aka Rooster, is never allowed to breathe free air again unless it is through a prison cell window. He must be interrogated, charged, and tried like the death dealing warlord he is. The victims demand it. The nation deserves it. Let us not forget the woman in Portmore, dumped in the cane field like garbage after being shot. One of Rooster's alleged victims. She survived enough to tell the story to give a dying declaration, but eventually succumbed to her wounds. Her death, like many others, demands more than mourning. It demands actions. This is not just about Rooster. This is about sending a signal to every transnational gangster watching from the US, the UK, and Canada. If you come back to Jamaica to hide our rule, we will bury your criminal empire right here. Jamaica, it's now or never. The moment cannot be wasted. We cannot let politics, fear, or corruption give this man a second chance to rebuild his network, harm his cronies, and terrorize communities from Denham Town Tivoli Gardens, to Rima, to Jungle, to 3 Miles, Tower Hill, back to. This is our chance to show the world that Jamaica is no longer a safe haven for international criminals. Jamaica is transforming from a criminal's paradise to a criminal's nightmare. Rooster may have dodged justice before, but not this time. Not in this Jamaica. Shower Posse or not, justice rain down like bullets. He one showered on no others. So, the Rooster are waiting. Shower Posse kingpin turned prison philosopher and music mogul behind bars. The monster in a cage but not silenced. He was once known as a cold-blooded enforcer, killer. A street-certified soldier of the Shower Posse, responsible for moving millions of dollars worth of ganja across the United States and rumored to have orchestrated unspeakable violence in Matthews Lane and Tivoli Gardens. His name struck fear in the underworld and demand respect in the streets. Now, Anthony Rooster Patterson served 18 years of the 300 months, that's 25 years, sentence in U.S. federal prison from marijuana trafficking has become something else, a symbol, a voice, a myth in the making. But don't let the soft voice fool you. Don't mistake the poetic metaphor for repentance. Rooster may be wearing a jumpsuit, but his influence still walks free. And now, his legacy is being channeled through music, street wisdom, and revolutionary rhetoric. From kingpin to consciousness, the Shower Posse philosopher, in the sterile, unforgiving confines of a U.S. penitentiary, Roosters evolve. Or, so he say, he trades his AK-47 rifle for a pen, his street maps for spiritual mantras. The universe has its way. If you can humble yourself and be patient, it will lead you where you are meant to go. He said through his legal representatives. He speaks like a man who has tamed his demons, who now preaches patience, education, and purpose. But the streets haven't forgotten who Rooster really is. This isn't just a man doing time. This is a man who masterminded $1 million a week ganja smuggling ring from California to Bronx, New York. An operation so large it was said to be protected by both guns and political silence. In 2008, he was convicted and charged of conspiracy to distribute over 1,000 kilograms of marijuana. That's more than just drugs. It's a narcotic empire. Now he's trading barbed wires for bars of music. The music project getting there, getting influence. Rooster's latest endeavor is a music single called Getting There, recorded by Lil Anky Panky and California rapper Cash XO. He wasn't just an advisor, he was the conceptual architect of the entire project. The music video even features a scene where supporters wear Free Roosters shirts, elevating him from an inmate to an icon. I now look upon the release date. I just know that freedom is when I get there. It's cryptic, it's poetic. It's a chilling message from a man who once ran from the law and never looked back. He claims he's now an advocate for the youths, telling them to go back to school, stay focused and be patient. But let's not forget, Rooster once weaponized patience to orchestrate operations that cripple communities from Kingston to New York. He knows better than anyone that calm is a killer's best disguise. If the street doesn't recognize the music, it will never be relevant. Rooster explained, he isn't talking about Billboard charts. He's talking about certification by the streets, the kind that give you words, weight, your name credibility, and your brand power. He's not just making music, he's laying a blueprint for using the streets as a marketing machine, merging gangster credibility with Gen Z streaming culture. It's a masterclass in urban propaganda. And don't be fooled, his reach is still dangerous. He may be locked away physically, but his philosophies, his alliances, and his voice are being broadcast to the same neighborhoods he once ruled. This isn't just rehabilitation, it's reinvention with ulterior motives. Now, Rooster has done a new badge, prison activist. He points out the hypocrisy of a justice system that has sentenced people like him to decades behind bars for marijuana, while today's entrepreneurs rake billions in selling the same product in sleek dispensaries. And he's not wrong. President Joe Biden did not pardon over 6,500 minor cannabis offenders, but Rooster class of conviction, high-level trafficking, is still being ignored. The system knows it's false, but it procrastinates in fixing them. They are just kicking the can. This is the new face of Rooster, the rebel, the righteous, the one man who claims to defend truth, rights, and justice from behind bars. But behind the soft-spoken words lies a hard truth. This is the same man who helped flood streets with drugs and violence for years. So who is Rooster now? A philosopher? A philosopher? A paralegal? A street mentor? A gangster in disguise? Or is he a cunning warlord repurposing his legacy to stay relevant, powerful admirer from afar? One thing is clear, Rooster's time behind bars has not erased his name, it has elevated it. And as the beat of getting there plays on digital platforms around the world, Jamaica and the diaspora must ask, are we listening to the voice of redemption or the echoes of a man who once showered entire communities and neighborhoods in bullets? Coming June 2nd, the music, the message, the myth. But don't forget, this Rooster once crowd over chaos. So if you believe that Rooster can change, we do believe in redemption. But as them say, I'm the longest liver. We'll see. So have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.